Now available on Kickstarter, John Haynes at Death's Door. The man who rules the world takes on the Greek god of death in this all-new Kickstarter exclusive John Haynes comic book. Put in your pledge and get the standard, variant, or retro covers of John Haynes at Death's Door and other great stretch goal rewards on Kickstarter today. The more I hear about Sony's The Woman King, the more disgusted I get at this film. Now, your Sony's The Woman King is a film set in Africa during the time of slavery and is a film about some so-called black female Amazon warriors who are fighting against these whites who are looking to enslave people in their kingdom. Now, on the surface, this story looks like it's telling a story that is about black history. However, the more I learn about this Woman King, the more I see the white supremacy going on behind the scenes. Now, this Woman King movie is not a film that seems to have any black people in charge. No, the screenwriters for the film are two white women, and having two white women be the screenwriters for a film about black women in Africa, that's a major red flag for me. Now, it's a red flag for me because historically, your white female has always been jealous of black women, and your white females have no interest in elevating a black woman's image in a positive light. And this is something that your white supremacy has done since the inception of Hollywood. They have always looked to degrade the black female image, and that's what's going on here in Sony's The Woman King. And now, the first indicator of a red flag for me was the title, The Woman King. Now, we know a woman cannot be a king, but your white supremacists in media have been out here trying to masculinize the image of the American black woman, and this is why they recruited actress Viola Davis to go out here and play the role of this Woman King. Passively, they were out here talking about, oh, we're doing a story about these black female Amazons, but aggressively, they're taking a shot at the modern black woman by having her star in a movie called The Woman King. Again, this is all about masculinizing the image of the black woman, and sadly, your Viola Davis is sitting there while talking about she's playing this powerful role. Meanwhile, these two white females are sitting here writing a story that insults the black woman by telling her that she is in the role of a man, and they're sitting there writing a story controlling the black narrative. That's where I have a major issue with The Woman King. Here we have white women writing a story about black women in Africa, and when you have a white woman writing a story about a black woman, you know you're not going to get a positive picture of that black woman. No, because that white woman has no interest in elevating the image of a black woman. No, all she wants to do is degrade the image of that black woman. So that's a major red flag for me, having the screenplay written by a white woman, because a white woman is not interested in telling a black woman's story and presenting a black woman in a positive light. And the reason why she doesn't want to present a black woman's image in a positive light is because she does not want to compete with the black woman in the social marketplace. So she will go out here and actively do things to degrade the black female image because she wants to eliminate competition. Unfortunately, many black women are so spellbound by getting the attention of white women because they want to be like white women. They don't see how these white women are out here taking a shot at them with this movie, The Woman King. No, many of these black women, they want to be like the white woman so bad and are just so happy to have some attention from white women. They can't see, hey, this story that says it's the woman king is an insult to me, and it's an insult because here you have these white women saying that we are just like men, and then they have them out here masculinized and looking like men on screen, and they have them in the role of the man on screen. So a lot of people aren't really seeing how this film is really insulting black women and how this fits historically within narratives as related to degrading the black female image, which is something Hollywood likes to do. And Hollywood likes to do this because they want to, again, elevate the white female image, but then they want to degrade the black female image so that everyone can see the white woman as the pinnacle of beauty. So this film, again, you have white women writing, talking about the black woman is a woman king. They have the black woman, Viola Davis, in a masculine look and a masculine role, and they have all of the men practically emasculated on screen. The black men are presented as weak, and there was a flash of a picture of one of these black female Amazons about to kiss one of these white men. So we know what the story is with this woman king. This woman king is presenting itself as an empowering film about black women on the surface, but it goes underground, degrading the image of black women, similar to that of Monsters Ball, Precious, and the film that I really believe this film copies a lot of, the movie Harriet. Now, the movie Harriet, starring Cynthia Erivo, this was a film that was supposed to be about Harriet Tubman, but this film was chock filled with revisionist history and had all sorts of subplots that never fit within the timeline of Harriet Tubman. Now, as a screenwriter, I know all about the concept of adaptation, but when you look at your Harriet, it was not really an adaptation. It was a piece of revisionist history where the screenwriters decided to take the life of Harriet Tubman and basically rewrite it to fit their white supremacist narratives and make that film basically to fit whatever stories they wanted to tell about Harriet Tubman. This film, Harriet, was basically a fictionalized version of Harriet Tubman's life, and in some ways it was a bastardized version of Harriet Tubman's life. And when I look at your Woman King, it's looking more like Harriet 2.0 than an original film about these black female Amazons who were supposed to be fighting against these white men who were looking to enslave people in Africa. That's what it's looking like to me, that this film is more like Harriet, a piece of revisionist history, a fantasy meant to fit the narratives of your white supremacists in Hollywood and provide them with entertainment that makes them feel comfortable. And this narrative is designed so that they can go out here and revise the story so that they can absolve themselves of their white guilt for participating in the slave trade. So what they want to do is go out here and point at these black females who were a part of the slave trade and say that they were part of it and use this as a way to wipe their hands of all the evil deeds that they did when they were the ones who went out here and enslaved generations of Africans, and they had their hands in this, doing this dirty work. But what they want to do is go out here, make this film about the Woman King, have you focus on these masculine black women, and they want to go out here and degrade the black female image, all while absolving themselves of their own accountability for their ancestors participating in the slave trade. So they're sitting out here and looking to go out here and use this movie to go out here and stir up feelings about the black woman, and they want to make the black woman out to be the bad guy of the movie so that they can look like they're innocent as related to the slave trade, but they're not innocent of the slave trade, and they have, and as I see it, you still are accountable for it, and you still have to pay reparations for that slavery and that part in the slave trade your ancestors participated in. But this movie, again, it's all one big piece of anti-black racism wrapped up in a as I call it, strawberry flavored box, and it's nothing but poison for the mind, because what your Woman King is all about is programming the idea in black women's minds that being masculine is attractive, being masculine is something normal, when being masculine is not normal for a black woman to be. No, you don't see anybody talking about white women being kings, because white women would come out in force and protest against such a statement, because they would find being called a king to be insulting, because most white women, they can go out here and be princesses and queens, but they want the black woman to be a king. And again, this is all social engineering designed to try to reprogram the black female's mind, and the whole goal of it is to get the black female to think being masculine is a natural, normal trait, but being masculine is not a normal trait for a woman. But they want to try to engineer this idea in the black woman's mind, and they've been trying to do this for several years with images like Queen Latifah in The Equalizer, your Tessa Thompson as the King Valkyrie, and now you have this movie called The Woman King. And again, this is an attack on black women. This is anti-black racism, and that all shows because, again, this movie, written by two white women, is all about trying to masculinize the image of the black woman. But sadly, many black women are so caught up in the strong black woman narrative, they can't see how this film is designed to insult black women, and it's designed to change the image of black women to be more masculine. So I look at this film, and again, this film, it really reminds me of Your Harriet from a couple of years ago. And Your Harriet was one of the worst films because it took one of our icons and it tarnished her image by trying to revise her story, and it went out here and tried to push a lot of ridiculous narratives and try to make them the norm. And that's why the only way to deal with this kind of film is to vote with your wallet, because anybody who says that a black woman is a king is insulting the sisters, and anybody who promotes images of a black woman masculine, this is an insult to black women that goes all the way back to the 1930s. And I urge you to go out here and take a look at the 1934 film Imitation of Life, so that you can see how they push this masculinization of black women even as far as back then, because again, it's all about degrading and devaluing black beauty, and it's all about trying to degrade the black female image. And while you buy into these images of masculine power, they devalue black femininity and they devalue black womanhood, and that's what these kind of films try to do. So when I look at this Woman King film, I get more and more disgusted, because the more I see of this film, the more I don't see it as a story to try to, again, empower black women and give them a positive image of black women. No, all I see is an effort to degrade black women and an effort to try to capitalize on the fantasy market that was left when Black Panther proved to be a success back in 2018. What I see is a plan to try to go out here and make money at the expense of black people, but as they're making that money at the expense of black people, they are degrading black people's images. So we have to be very careful about the media we watch, because we are what we watch. And if we don't watch ourselves, we may wind up drinking some strawberry flavored poison that may wind up killing our perceptions of self, and because the perceptions of self we're learning are not self-love. No, we are learning self-hatred, and that's what I believe The Woman King is, a film that is supposed to teach you about your history, but the history they're teaching you is from a white supremacist perspective, and that white supremacist perspective is just going to teach you more self-hatred, and that's why this kind of film is toxic, because yes, we can go out here and have movies that feature beautiful black women, and we can go out here and show our sisters being soft and feminine, and we can make those type of films. I mean, I write those kind of stories, like when I wrote Easting the Sands of Time, and when I write books in the ISIS series. Yes, you can write these kinds of stories and show a black woman as beautiful, but the whole thing is that we have to start becoming a bit more discerning about the type of films that come out here and who we support, because The Woman King is not a royal image that befits our sisters. Now, I have a couple of stories set in ancient Nubia and ancient Egypt that I think will give you an inspiring and uplifting look at our sisters in the past, like Isis Amari's Revenge and Easting the Sands of Time, and you can find both of those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. And I also have other books that depict contemporary black women in a positive light, such as Isis, Imitation of Life, and other books in the Isis series, and my novels, The Thetas, A Recipe for Success, and the books of the Spinsterella trilogy. And you can find all of those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find some of them on Smashwords, Barnes & Noble, the iBookstore, and Google Play. And I also have a comic book available now on Kickstarter, John Haynes at Death's Door. And if you want to pick that book up on Kickstarter, you can put in a pledge, and I will ship you a copy of John Haynes at Death's Door once the Kickstarter ends. And if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Easting Horror of the Hyena Woman. Hell's aspiring angel takes on a wicked werewolf in this action-packed all-new Easting series adventure. Get Easting Horror of the Hyena Woman in paperback and e-readers today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis Legacy. Sorority secrets of the goddess next door are revealed in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis Legacy in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere.